Here's a beautiful coyote sitting there in silhouette, so there's very little detail. So for those of you that were worried about that, you don't have to worry. Yeah, what we did was, I want to quickly go over something real quick. We left off putting these little things on there, these little seed pods, these wispy things with the number 4 bristle brush. So let's go down here. Remember how I kind of flayed this brush out, kind of fanned it out. Pick up the white, the yellow, a little burnt umber to give it that tan color. And you can go ahead and add more. I'm not going to do too much just yet, but that photograph, there's a bunch of them. And you just touch it like this, and it creates that little lacy, sort of a seed pod-like effect. See how cool that looks? It looks just like the photograph. And you can come up in here, and I put a few more up against this darker background. This is all back again to the contrast issue that we all talk about and we all use in the art world. Light against dark, dark against light. It's really an exciting adventure. Now you can make some of these even brighter. I'm not going to suggest you make the ones up above brighter, but you might make some of the ones in the foreground a little brighter. So just by adding a little more gesso to the mixture, it opaques it a little bit. And you can come in here and you can make some of these really pop. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I got to get to the coyote, and then while he's drying, we'll do a few more finishing touches on this. Now what I've done is I've taken my soft divine charcoal, or you could use your white charcoal pencil. I made a rough sketch of him. Now, you want to get him just sketched in roughly. You can adjust him as we finish him. Now, when you paint him in, I've got another number 4 bristle brush here. I like to use these for underpainting a lot of this stuff. Rinse that out. Take the burnt umber, a little bit of blue. Get a real dark mixture. I'm going to use my dabble board. Let's go this close to it. I can kind of see the color. Now, it's kind of a cool color, so I'm going to put a little bit of a more blue in it, kind of a bluer brown, maybe even a touch of turquoise deep. Be good in this. Oh yeah, there we go. Now, when you paint these in, doesn't matter what stroke you use towards the center part of the body, but when you get to the edge of the body, always pull in. Pull in like this. That way, you will keep your paint soft on the edges. Don't go all the way out to the sketch. Go inside the sketch slightly. Because if you do, you'll get him too fat. You know, it's puffy. You look like a dog that's got air, blowing into him like a balloon. Kind of pull in there like that. Check your shaping. Make sure you're okay with that. Now this kind of seen something, and he's sort of on point there. Well, I've got enough color up here probably to do this. This is how you underpaint these animals. You block them in, especially this one. Just kind of make him a little rough. His tail comes over. What's neat about this one, he has a silver lining all the way around him. That's really going to be neat. And the good news is, most of him is going to be embedded in the grass, so you'll get to see that, how that works out too. For those of you that were worried, I can already hear it. Oh no, I got to paint the legs. I got to paint this or that. Well, you really are lucky on this one because there's no detail in him. He's just basically the form, which we kind of adjust as we go. And see, you can gradually work your way up just like that to kind of adjust his shape. Just enough water to make the paint thin down. I have this real skinny nose and head. Their head's not real big. They're not like a wolf. A little dip right there. Then you've got some little, kind of like, they're more like a dog, in some way. I see a lot of dogs that look kind of like this. Now, once you get everything that you can get done with this bigger brush, then you might want to switch to a smaller one and then work from there. Getting kind of blocked in with that. And let's go to, I think what I'll do is, let's just go to one of our let's go to the number 4 chisel edge, these little synthetic brushes. They're a little easier to get in and out of some of the tight areas. So like on his chest right here, the area that goes underneath, between his legs. And I like it also because you can whip it out and kind of create sort of a hairy, like edge of it where the hair kind of hangs out. This time, see, I pull out to create that little bit of, see the way the hair hangs down slightly. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Now he's got a little angle right here. His body actually angles down. So here's the way you look at it. If you take your brush, you make sure it's got a slight angle to it. Don't make it too straight. And if you look up here, our original, all I'm doing is using the bottom of his belly and his underside is angled. The top of his body is just a little bit angled. And we've got those pretty much those same scenarios there. So I'm just kind of mimicking what I see there. Pull down a little hair right there. And we'll put minor highlights on him in a minute. But first we're just trying to get him blocked in. Front leg, it has a slight angle to it. Not too straight, so let's double check. Yeah, see it's got a slight angle to that front leg. So you take that and then you look at the side of your paper, see how it's angled? So you do the same thing here. I'll know that this angle, I'll look at the side of the canvas here. If I have it too straight, it won't work. So I've got it a little too straight in the sketch, but I can angle it when I paint it. So I want to make sure I do that. And there's reasons for all those things, folks. That's what makes them anatomically correct. And then the other leg is behind him. And because they're kind of overlapping each other, they're buried in the grass, you don't have to be so specific as a lot of people think. And he'll look really good standing in there. And then we'll pull the grass up around him and you'll like the way it finishes. It'll take a little work. We'll get it though. Just don't panic. Whenever you do birds and animals, we have a tendency to kind of panic, thinking we just can't make it. Well, this just happens to be one of my specialties. I began my career as a wildlife artist. And I liked it, and I still do. It's just that it got a little refining, just constantly worrying about all the little extreme details. And I just want to be a little bit looser. And back here on the tail, I'm going to swish this. His tail comes right off his rear end just like that. And it's just all in one kind of a swoop. They have a bushier tail than most people realize. Out on my little farm I have what the studio is, we have coyotes up there. Boy, it's amazing at nighttime to hear them howling. They're an amazing animal, really, when you think about it. Okay, that's really all we need at the moment. And see, that's all this is. If you really look at this, see, he's just embedded in the grass. You can't even see the end of it. You can't even see the base of his feet. You can't even see the end of his tail. Well, we're going to do the same thing. Once he's dry, we can erase our marks and kind of shape him a little better. Then we'll pull all these shadows up in there and these grasses, and you're going to have it. Now, I think I'm going to switch to my number 4 round sable. I've got him in my bag over here. Let's go back to the same dark. This is a little round sable. It's just a good one to go ahead and do your little detail work with in terms of shaping the ears. Now they've got this, his ears are forward. This is an indication that he's on alert. Not a whole lot going on here right now, except that you're just trying to get the basic shape. And his nose, nice point to it. His mouth comes underneath. Clean that up a little bit. A little more angle to his forehead, and when it comes down like that. Now I'm just kind of looking at the photograph. Now, You've heard me. I can already hear some of this. You always say don't paint what you see, paint what's artistically correct. Well, keep that in mind, folks, but also keep in mind that when you're doing animals, birds, and people, you have to be anatomically correct no matter what. So you have to paint what you see in terms of the exactness of their form and their features. But then you use your artistic license to do the rest of it. Like how we highlighting, and so forth and so on. I think I'm close enough that we can just let him dry now. I don't want to do too much more, and we'll work a little more on our ground. I do want to do this. I think I want to take his tail, make it just a tad darker, because this part right here needs to be a little blacker in this area. Maybe pretty dark. We may darken him even more before it's over, but we'll start here. Now, while he's kind of drying, I want to put just a little bit more of a darker cast shadow right along his base. You're going to do that with your number 4 bristle brush. Go back down here to your bar number. A little bit of purple. Just a touch of yellow to give it that golden effect. Oops, I went too far, I think, with the yellow. I'm going to test this real quick. Yeah, this is a little darker right underneath where his body is. Now remember, the cast shadow from the entire area is already across here. Wasn't that fun how that worked out? Like I mentioned in the first show, if you don't cover up all of your shading from the underpainting, remember that's all this is. That's just your original rendering. Can you remember that? Isn't that cool? How just a few sessions ago, that was just all that color. And now it looks what it's turned into. It's pretty neat. What I'm doing, I'm just dragging a little shading here. Not too much. I'm just darkening the shadow underneath his body. And then we're going to put a lot of grasses up and through this area to hide the rear end of him so that he'll be able to be settled in these grasses. Now this is where you've got to be really aggressive. Take your number 4 chisel-edged brush, which I've already got in my hand here. And we're going to go to a variety of colors. Let's go to some darker tones. Let's go to the brown, a little sienna, purple, all the darker colors. You can see there's lots of different tones in here. So I'm going to put all these little taller weeds kind of starting to disguise him in the grasses. Even before we finish him. And the reason why I'm doing this, folks, is because I want to see how he's going to start looking embedded in all this grass over here before we put the final highlights on him. And I got to let him dry anyway for a second, so there's a little method in this madness. I put a little hooker's green in there, which we haven't really used in this painting, but you can. You can use it to kind of darken that. Go back to the graying issue. This corner kind of dark right in through here. In fact, it is darker even in the original photo up there. I want to make this even darker. Let's go with the green, the brown. See how that kills that for being such a brown. I like this gray or brown tint. So let's put a few of these in there. See, it's just a different brown. It's not like a reddish brown. When you put the green in there, you just kill it, which is what we wanted to do. Like this. So you can embed dark ones now in with those light ones. And voila, you've got a nice corner here for him to be seated in. And he's almost ready for us to wipe the charcoal off the edges. But I'm just going to get just a little more dark grass down here in the foreground. Remember the contrast rule. Dark against light, light against dark. And that's when your paintings always start to look a lot more professional, more finished, more natural, and actually just basically technically correct for the most part, just getting that contrast in there. Okay, now I think it's safe enough. Take a little damp paper towel, And I want you to just wipe in, just in case. And in my case, I just wanted to make sure I don't smudge him, because he's not cured. He's dry enough that I can do this, but he's not cured. So, and getting these lines off, helps you see the shape better. When he's got all those lines, it makes him look bigger than he is and a little out of proportion. It drives me nuts. So I like to get my sketch off as quickly as possible. There we go. Now you can see his shape there. It looks pretty good in there. All right, now then, if you'll notice up here, the silver line, that little highlight right on his back there, that's what we want to put now. So we're going to go to our number 4 round sable. Take a little bit of white, put it into your yellow gold mixture. Just kind of beef it up a little bit, nice and creamy. And I'm going to start up here on his top, and this ear right here. This ear. And we just kind of put a little smushy, squiggly line. I take my finger and tap it just to soften it a little. We want to start getting that little light right there. See this little silver line. Now this kind of seems funny when you do it like this, but you just kind of squiggle it. And then you take your finger and kind of tap it a little bit to kind of blur it into the body. Yeah, it softens it really nicely. And it gives it that nice little bit of a glow. And this is how you shape this part of his body. Really quickly. Coming down his tail back here. And a little bit on his hindquarters back here where the sun's hitting that. His tail right here is a little spot right there where his hip comes down. Little separations here and there. Right underneath his mouth right here, there's a little highlight. Kind of round off his. Oh, actually, let's go back to gray. Let's take a little blue and brown. See, anytime you do anything that's kind of on the whitish side, I always put a little gray in there, and that's what this is right underneath here. A little bit more white. This forms the bottom of his mouth, his chin area, that little section of him right in there. His chest has a little bit of a gray tint on it. Now remember, this is a silhouette, so you're not trying to create a form that's all dimensional. It's just barely there. And you can put a little color on it, and you can change some values here and there, but don't get too carried away with it. He's got an eye there that's got just a little bit of a highlight over it, so you can kind of see where it's at. And it's low. And that little smudge I just put there where the eye is. And he's also got some highlight underneath his chest that goes in between his legs here. And then there's a little spot right there where you can see it come between. So you know that's exactly what's happening. This is where you just have to spend some time tweaking. I'm going to go on the top of his head now. I'm going to shape his head just a little bit better. It may not appear like I'm doing much here, folks, but really you're doing the little things that make the painting look a little bit more finished. And because it is a silhouette, now what I'm going to do is take my number 4 little chisel edge brush here, go back to these tan tones, work this in, flatten it out, come up here. Now you're going to put the little swooshes on it like there's a little bit of hair on him, on his back, like this. And in a minute we'll brighten him up a little. That'll give him just a little bit of indication that there's some form on him. See, I'm just swishing in like this to create those soft highlights on his body. A little more white in that mixture to make it, and a little yellow to make it really more of a golden color right back here on his rear end especially. There's a nice little glow right here on this back side of this leg. A little more glow still there on that side of his. And if you can get this nice glow on there, it really looks good with the sun hitting him like that. And then you put some soft tan. See, I go down here to the tan area, and I kind of drag some highlights in here just to create a little bit of subtle change from that particular. I feel like this might be where the leg hits the edge right there. This leg overlaps the body, the edge of the body. In there. Let's kind of go through and kind of skim the surface of him, suggesting that he's got a little bit of hair, following the contour of the body. The leg joins on there. And you see he's still in silhouette, but you just want to put a little bit of contour. These are called contour strokes. These are the ones that actually give the body shape. And it kind of softens it a little. A little more white on this little section back here with a little yellow in it. This top part is still the brightest part where the silhouette is. And we want to get that little nice glow right on his back like that. That's really important, folks, right there. As it goes around next to his tail, goes right on down. A little bit of highlight there where you see the leg bend. A little more right there. A little stronger there. A little stronger there. See, I'm still layering. It's just not different than the background on the grasses. You know, even though it's a small area, folks, this has to be, you get the brights by just gradually bringing the light up. And then you take your number 4 round, say, well, you can take pure white with a little touch of yellow in it. And you know what's called a broken skim line here? You just put a little bit of this right along the top of him like that. And that's that true silver line that you see on a cloud, on the edges of things where it's kind of a backlit situation. And it just looks so cool. It gives that little clean, crisp, that nice look to it. You can even take the end of your brush, kind of scratch it a little bit, and kind of blends it in slightly. Put a little on the top of his head, maybe, perhaps on this ear right here. Just a little there, a little right in there, a little right there. These silver linings can really make or overdone or underdone, even could not do so well for your painting. See how that's bringing him out there, just giving that little bit of glow? Now let's get him seated a little better. So you want to go back to your number, well, you can use almost any of your brushes. Don't throw them away. I'm going to go to my number 6. I'm going to go ahead and bring, in fact, let's do our script brush out. I want to torture you guys with it. I just have to do that. Take your script brush, take some burnt umber, a little bit of ultramarine blue. I think we'll do most of the finishing with it, the more I think about it. Remember, we'll drill on this, get it soupy. Come up here and start bringing in some of the darker weeds, tall weeds like this. And kind of do these little skippy stops where you can put these little seed pods. To a little seed pod, you just put a little pressure on the end, and you can put the little seed pods stick. Oh gosh, those look good too. So you just put pressure on the end. And you do the same thing with some white ones. Okay, now what we're going to do, once you get some of these seed pods in there, then you're going to go to just a little bit more here. I love those seed pods. So you want to be sure he's well embedded into this, folks. So now you get the light ones in. Can't stop having too much fun. Yeah, come in here with the yellow and the white. These are the ones that will be your final weeds. And remember, it has to be really soupy or it won't work. And you can get these nice and gold, and you can put a lot of different colors. But anyway, these are the final weeds. Now see, these are the ones that hold him in place. You got to go up over him, put some nice little seed pods right underneath him, so his body is kind of embedded in there. It's okay if some nice tall weeds all through there. See how he's getting settled now? Isn't that exciting? This is one of the more fun things you'll do as an artist, is learning how to seat things, whether it be a base of a tree or an animal, a person, bird sitting on a pile of leaves or whatever, limbs. So just go on with your script brush, tall little weeds, you can see it. And then those little final seed pods, there's a few of those right on top of him as well. These little things, remember we were tapping on? Well, you put some of those in there, and you've got your little finished painting. Pretty exciting, huh, folks? Hope you've enjoyed this. We have to quit. I hate this. I wish we could just keep painting, but just put a few more weeds, a few more seed pods here and there, scattered around, so your painting will have a little more completeness. Put a few more shadows or whatever you need to, but the contrast is what matters. And thank you for joining me. God bless you. Stay inspired. We're going to do a brand new painting next time, so hope to see you then on another session of Paint This with Jerry Yarnell at the Yarnell School of Fine Art.
Episodes of Paint This with Jerry Yarnell are available at yarnellschool.com. For more information about Paint This with Jerry Yarnell, visit them online at yarnellschool.com. You can also email Jerry or call him toll free at 877-681-4ART.